Hi, welcome to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jaime McFaden, and I'm so excited to have you here. This podcast is about all things wellness. Each week, we will focus on a word of the day, and I interview some of the most inspirational people I know and share that inspiration with you. Join me, let's learn together on What's the Word.
This is the place where I belong.
Hi, and welcome back to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jaime McFaden, and today we are talking with one of my favorite people that I've actually only just recently met through this pandemic online on Clubhouse. She is someone that is one of the coolest humans I've ever met. She's a high-power coach, a mentor, an educator. She's the founder and principal of Campagna Enterprises, which in Italian means partner. She is literally going to inspire your socks off right now, right here. And she chose the word today, legacy. So I'm going to bring her in right now. Jeannie Esti, here she is. You chose legacy, and we're just going to dive right in. What does that mean to you?
I chose
That's a big
legacy.
one.
Right now, it feels like it's old age. So yeah, I mean, how crazy the two people who went into a Clubhouse room in, I think, January or February, right, have wound up with this kind of sisterhood, right? This mentorship. And that's the legacy. So you know this, that your audience doesn't. I don't have children, but this is my child. So in a weird way, being of service to people and really helping them get out of their own way. I start in your business environment, but let's face it, you don't get a bedroom in a boardroom, right? You don't get what's going on. I always say this to people, what's going on in your dining room table is probably going on in the conference room, right? So you're like, oh, I checked my brain here and I'm going to pull it back in here. I mean, we may have versions of ourselves, but essentially those lines start to mix. So I was suffering in a pretty illustrative career. And though it was great and the people I worked with were amazing, it had a soullessness to me. Profitability to them, but a soullessness to me. And I realized I was confusing the people around me because they thought I was happy. So when I decided to dump all that and become an executive coach, they looked at me like I had lobster claws coming out of my head and that I was having some sort of a breakdown. And so legacy kind of became this component of what do you want to be known for in the world? And that's why when you asked me a word, how many months ago?
I love it. Word. So to give a little bit of backstory, yes, we met on a Clubhouse room. We jumped into this room and it was as if, and now on Clubhouse, if you haven't been on it yet, you don't see each other. You just hear a bunch of voices. And there was just something instantaneously for me specifically that I was like, okay, this is my sister, my soul sister. This is someone that, and we knew nothing about each other at all. We didn't know.
Zero. And let's face it, if you and I lived in the same town, we would not necessarily be friends. Right? Because the hot bikini girl.
I'm thinking, because I'm cleaning up poop all day long. I'm cleaning up poop all day long for my kid.
Okay, but not in a photograph, you're not. Okay? Yeah. This ship has sailed, baby cakes. I know when you get to 57, you know who you are, you know who you're not. Right? So enjoy every moment of this. But we would not have hung out. Like our age differences, your home, home life is so completely different than mine. But energetically, there's no way around this. You and I, in about 30 seconds, knew that our energies matched. And you sent me a note through Instagram and you're like, we have to talk to each other. And we've been doing it for over a year. I know,
it's pretty wild. And for those that are listening or watching right now, it's just, you just brought up the word energy. And when we think about energy, it's all around us. It's within us. It's what we are. When we can tap into our own flow, I feel that is when, I mean, that's, to me, I feel like the best blessing that you came into my life. And I now have had the honor and the privilege of learning so many incredible things from you, consistently being inspired by you. There's an ongoing fire under my butt now. And in addition to that, you remind me so many truthful and honest things in a really lighthearted way about just how precious these moments are. And you have such a fabulous way of doing that. You've helped me. I mean, she's definitely helped me in coaching, just on the sidelines, helping me with things within my brand, within, hey, let me take a look at this. And just so inspirational. The people you've connected me to, you are a true light. When people say the light of the world, you have this light within you. So when we think about legacy, now, thank you. When we think about legacy, what is the legacy that you want to be?
I was listening to something the other day, randomly. I don't know if you've seen Tony Robbins' I'm Not Your Guru. So I watched it, and no offense to Tony Robbins, but I watched it the other night to go to sleep. Right? Because, I'm a little out of the Downton Abbey loop. I'm like, okay, how many more times am I going to watch that? Oh, Lady Mary went downstairs, right? And so I was like, oh, I'll pop this on because should I know, right? So I'm not going to get engaged. And I was engaged. I was so annoyed. It was like having a cup of coffee again at 1:30 in the morning. Like, there's not enough cover up at NARS to fix this. So what I got from him was a moment that he talked about. And I just shared it with a friend of mine this morning who's also a coach. And I said, that book, The Love Languages, which how I am about coachy stuff. I get very eye rolly about it. I don't think it's how people naturally talk. I like to use my sense of humor. We've just got to put some fun back in our world. With our senses of humor have gone with the pandemic. It's like we vaccinated them first. We're going to vaccinate our sense of humor, and then we're going to go through this pandemic, and we're going to have a cancel culture. And the people that are primarily canceling are women and gay men. I'm like, so they're going to move that through, right? And so, I'm like, really, dude? Come on. So I was watching Tony Robbins, and he talked about one, which was a big thing that I have to get over, is he doesn't give a shit. He says some of the most inappropriate stuff to snap people out of it possible. And I think in this world, you can get away with that more right now as a man than you can as a woman, right? I think it's harder. I know I have masculine and feminine energy, so I got to watch that. But the piece that I got that I loved was that being of service. That is my love language. I don't need people to tell me I'm great. I need to bring me gifts or whatever the other ones are. When someone says, I'll empty the dishwasher for you, are you kidding me? Right. I'm like, I don't want to tell you what I'll do for I brought the groceries up. It's embarrassing. My parents could be watching this. They're in their 80s.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
That may not be good for my father's heart. Yeah. Sorry, Dad. You just found out your daughter's a slut for Instacart. Right. So, but being of service matters. And so because I'm at a point in my career, which I'm very blessed by, that I don't need to strive like I used to, right? Business comes, I have to be discerning about it. But one of the things that I love is seeing someone like you, seeing my client who I had this morning, all of a sudden say, oh my God, I never looked at it like that. I never looked at it like that. And now something's cleared out and things are easier. But what I have to be careful of, and this in your line of work, is getting more attached to their outcome than they are. Because that's the slippery slope.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How you've seen that happen? Because for those that are listening, it's you inspire, let's say someone like myself, to really think outside in a different way, where just like you said, there's been many times when you and I have had a conversation. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't think of it that way. Whoa. And then mind blown. Now I dive in. So expand a little more on you being, more into the outcome.
I mean, listen, I have a client that says one of the nicest things I ever had said, and I always say it's going to be my epitaph, was that he said, Jeannie finds the David in the marble. Sometimes she uses a Q-tip, and sometimes she uses a chainsaw. Right? But she always finds the masterpiece. I'm like, dude, I got to drop dead today because that's might be the coolest thing anybody's ever said. And see. But there are people who come and say they want it, right? Because I'm a good storyteller. So I can tell the story of where I see your business going. And I don't know why that's a superpower that I have, but I just can. I can get that 5-year picture really fast. I can get the scalable business really fast. I can get the entrepreneur out of their daily present crap and push them out of it and say, let's pull out of that and look. But I'm not going to do the work for you. This isn't Gold's Gym. You don't buy a membership here, right? And call me up and say, why don't I have flat abs? I bought the membership. Oh my God, I can't believe my thighs are still hitting each other. I wrote you a check. Clients who, when you say like, this is where we're going to go, they're doing backflips. It's exactly what they want. I've expanded even the vision they came to me for. But then they sit there and they say, well, you do it. I'm like, oh, no. Girlfriend doesn't get a sweaty brow anymore. That ship sailed. No, we're done with that. This is your turn, right? And I'll be there and I'll provoke you, and no one will be more excited, as you know, about a win. Like I get weepy about it. It's a true love of my life, but you have to do it. And so I've had to fire clients that's painful.
Yeah. Especially because I know how close you are with your clients, and Jeannie's the person that you can tell anything to, literally. When I say literally, like she's like the one person that you're like, okay, I'm not even telling my therapist this, but I'm gonna tell you.
Right. And I'm going to call you at 3:00 in the morning to tell you. I'm a little bit better about that myself. Thank you, helping me in the self-care journey. Maybe not taking calls at 1 in the morning.
Do not disturb.
You're not a how many times do I say I don't have a kidney in a cooler, right? Like, you're your business coach. I on the ball. But I do want to be that person that you send that dumping, vomiting text to, or that voicemail to, or I need to talk to you. I do want to hold their hair through that. And a majority of my clients are men, which is really interesting. And sometimes they're the hardest to poke, because they're used to women in a cultural way having a subservient role. And certainly not having the lead role. And so, I love that, but it's a difficult dynamic that I've got to get in the room quickly.
Yeah, you show up.
Because a lot of my clients are wealthy, right? So what they pay me, though it's a lot, it's not a stretch for them, right? So that's why I say they Gold's Gym me. I'm like, no, you don't get it because you wrote the check.
You still got to do the work. So everyone, remember, you still have to do the work no matter what. And Jeannie, I have to ask you now to dive a little bit deeper in this. How did you get into this? How did you, I know this is opening up a whole can of worms here, but,
it's just funny, because it was not like a field of poppies where I was like, I'm going to be an executive coach. It was the exact opposite. I had my own company. I was doing branding and licensing and business development and incubating new businesses for National Geographic, and then going around the world for them and building the P&L. And so I've always had senior leadership roles in a business capacity. When I was 16, 17, 18, I was working on the divestiture of AT&T. Yeah. So well, no, don't be over. That might have been my parents might need to call I might need to call social services over that. Why didn't I get to scoop ice cream or lifeguard? Right? Why was I in stockings at 17? That's sick.
Mom, dad.
Right? So, yeah, right. I hope they're watching this, right? Because everybody can still blame their parents. Just know Sophia's going to do it to you someday. This will bite you in the ass, right? So I kept having these jobs where I was successful, and mostly male-dominated companies. That I worked in the NFL, the NHL, Nat Geo, an automotive services organization. So they were mostly places where I owned a P&L, which was very unusual to have that balance sheet be your responsibility and be a woman. And most of the rooms where I was in, the people had more degrees than a thermometer. And I went to St. Bonaventure and Fordham for a couple of classes. That wasn't me. But I knew how to motivate people, and I knew how to bring out their best, and I knew how to do that. So I kind of loved that. In a weird way, that's come over here. I've kept that. But then I saw this coaching thing, and so many people, including the CEO that I used to work for, said to me, every time there's a problem in this company, you break it down. Every time we need to do it, you break it down. And I was like, if I go into HR, you're going to have me walked around with a lawyer. Are you kidding me? I can see the lawsuits. You can't do this. And he's like, no, I don't want to give that up. So CTI, the Coaches Training Institute in Washington, D.C., had a class. I said, I'm going to take one. And Jamie, I walked into that room like the biggest asshole on the entire planet. I wanted the whole world to know I was important. I had on the Hillary Clinton pantsuit, 2 phones. I was constantly taking a call, even if it was one phone calling the other. Excuse me, I'm very important. I need to take this call. Hold on, it was ridiculous. And it was like after the second day, really it was the first day, I knew. And it was like, now what do you do? What do you do when you're making a lot of money over here? You're single. I was getting ready to adopt a baby. What do you do when the calling comes and you're not ready for it?
Wow.
So it was a bitch. And I don't envy anybody. I mean, so I try to hold people's hands through that because I know how hard it is, but I fought for it. And I did a lot of soul searching, and I had the most incredible coaches, and I still have incredible coaches. I can't stand when I hear people say that they don't have that. I'm like, how do you do this and not have that? I deeply believe in those modalities, but it was a pull to it. And then I knew it's what I was supposed to do because it was easy. That doesn't mean it was simple. But I never struggle coaching. There's no topic that I can't have brought to me. I'm pretty sure I've hit them all now, but there's no topic I can't coach.
So so it hits you
so
over
I
the
miss
head.
being in
Yeah, it was just a wow. And for anyone that's listening right now, can you offer any tip or advice? Because obviously we're going through some major shifts in the world and in one's own life.
Best
right?
pandemic ever.
The big awakening, the everything else. So for someone that's listening right now going, okay, I'm feeling inspired and maybe I want to make this change in my life, or maybe I'm, I've been scared to do something, but I feel like I want to. Do you have any words of wisdom? I'm sure you do.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I can't get to my business. I wouldn't like me. So the most important thing is not, and I listen, I have an incredible group of friends. I have an incredible family, but they can't just be part of this decision. So I've talked to you about this. You need a board of directors, right? And I've self-appointed myself, as you know, on your board, right? So your business life needs a board. Those are not people that you talk to every day, because the people that we talk to every day want us to stay the way that we are. It's better for them. Yeah. You also have to understand you're going to probably outgrow some people, and they're going to outgrow you, right? So there's going to be change. This is going to feel like a cheese grater against your skin. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. But the reason I always say to people, get a coach, not because I'm doing PR for this, but because the only investment a coach, like if that I have, is your joy. That's it. I don't have a dog in your fight. I don't care where you live. I care about what you told me your values are, what the vision was, and how we're going to get there. And so having that kind of agnostic belief in you, and I tell a lot of people, you've heard me say this is not a business. This is an idea. It's the biggest mistake people make. They think every idea is a business. Every idea is not a business. Some are just ideas. Flush it out with people around you who have done it.
Ooh, yeah.
And those are people that belong on your board.
All right. So for those listening and watching right now, take that in. I'm taking a moment there because I'm like, yeah, that is so true. Not every idea is a business, but also the whole cheese grater thing. I say this with self-care as well. I just did a post about it the other day where it's a voiceover of Steve Carell going, "Oh my gosh, it's happening." And the point behind it, I said, was the minute you start changing your life with better self-care, everything changes and you didn't expect that, right? We're like, it's almost like when you put your phone on Do Not Disturb, you actually get sleep at night. People aren't, ringing.
Right.
Sometimes it's scary.
And 40 texts.
But sometimes it's also the change can be scary because people want us to stay the same. Our friends want 100%. Us to be who we are right now.
And I'd add another piece of it, that this was given to me by a phenomenal coach. He said, and your success is a reflection of what they may not have done.
I just got chills. Ooh.
Okay. So compounded by the fact jealousy hits. Right. So as you cast a bigger net in whatever world you're in, there are people who wish they had done it. And you are a reflection of their fear.
That is deep.
And so instead of saying, go Jamie, go Jeannie, they're going to chip at you. And that's what I deeply believe is happening in the cancel culture. That's why I'm obsessed with getting out of it.
Yeah, let's get out of there. I love you and I are like, we're taking the beeline. We're going to Italy, okay?
Yeah, you know, a friend of mine said to me the other day, which I love, she called me out. She's like, you're being too quiet in the world. She said, I want you to think of cancel culture like a piano that people are banging on. Just yell over it.
Ooh. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. She's like, we need your voice so that it goes away. We need your humor so that it goes away. I was like, oh, you know, can't I just watch Netflix once? Can I just like hang out? I had to get involved in COVID. I had to do this. Like, can't I just get a pass on this one?
No, you definitely can't. It's too good.
No,
you cannot. So now I'm going to ask you,
Yeah,
what are the best? You've been doing this for years. You've had many coaches. You've had your board of directors. What are the best pieces of advice you have ever received?
Well, I have a friend, if he hears this, he's going to have a big grin on his face. A couple of things. Well, the first one unequivocally, and you were a part of this, is that what I noticed that I was doing this year, and you know, I've made some big decisions in my company. My whole team has said self-care, healthcare is our number one priority. For me to say that out in the world is lunacy, but I definitely believe it. And I'm pontificating it everywhere. Like I get up and I meditate. I don't check my phone. I don't do anything and meditate. Like that's like Martian Jeannie, right? It's like Martian Jeannie came in. So that a big piece of advice was to put my life and my health on my calendar before I put my business and my service, things that I do to serve others, on there. That was huge. I don't even know who told me that. I think I read it. The second thing unequivocally is the fact that I have a tendency to get into people's stuff because I can be commoditized, right? So I'm saying that in a weird way, but there are people who are like, oh my God, I'm having a problem. I'm going to call Jeannie because she's going to be able to solve it like this. That commoditizes me. That doesn't put me in relationship. And so, you know, the people who you buy a commodity from, you don't say to them, and how are you?
Yep.
So I have to be very careful not to allow that and not to create it, because I used to use it to connect.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. So stopping that was a great piece of advice that I got. Awareness on that was a great piece of advice. I would say that taking your superpower and making sure that you're Clark Kent as much as your Superman is really important. And I had a lot more people in my life in the cape than I did in the glasses on the couch. And so I have to be careful of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's key. And I love every time you and I get on a phone call with each other, we do always take some time in the very beginning, genuinely saying, how are you doing?
Right.
How are you? And we both laugh because we're like, whoa, that's weird.
Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody asked and wasn't saying it like I've got to put the tokens in at the end of the Q&A that I just gave you on the $200,000 worth of business advice. Oh yeah, I'm pulling into the grocery store. How are you?
I got to get off in 1 second. How are you doing? Yeah.
Right. You don't care. Oh, I'm just picking out some cantaloupe. I'm going to lose you in the back of the store. You don't care. That's gratuitous. And don't treat me like the dumb girl where I'm supposed to not know it's gratuitous, because I do. And it's a wound. So even if you tap at it, I feel it. Right? You do too.
Certainly. 100%. And okay, I have to bring up, I think about the hand.
High five.
I think about my hand and you look at my hand and I think of you. Okay. Now for anyone that's listening or watching right now, you're going to go, what the heck are you talking about? Jeannie, can you please explain?
No, because I made it up 100 years ago and I'm 57. So I'm pretty sure it ran through. It was like something I said on a Tuesday. Clients will say to me all the time, oh, can you repeat that? I'm like, no, I don't listen to what I say. What did you feel? Okay. So the 5. During the pandemic, when it was wildly dark, not that it's like so light and airy now. I mean, it's February. If you can see what it looks like in DC right now, you're like, really? I got penguins behind me. It looks more like their house than this one, than your house, than the one behind you, right? I want to go there.
Yeah, let's go there.
I want to be there. But it was basically a check for myself of where I was getting depleted. And so where I was getting depleted is knowing I was out of balance. And I know when I get out of balance and my saboteur is coming in is when I lose my sense of humor. When that goes, run. It takes a long time. So I have to make sure I learn something every day. That was hugely important to me because I teach a lot. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not learning. So now I take Italian classes. I have mentors. I have my own people, like all these things that I'm learning.
Right.
Second thing is that I have to laugh. Unequivocally, I have to laugh because without it, I'm not good at this. I have to move. I have to move. Nature for me is church.
Yeah.
If the ocean is church, mountains are church. It's church, right? I 19 years of Catholic school. I'm sorry, but that's my church, right? I'm like, sorry, you put me in a different church. That church, no, this church all day, right? So I have to have that outside time, and I need to connect. I need to talk to another person. If I don't create, if I don't connect, I can't create. And I think creating is important because we live in the pandemic has put us in reaction mode. Right? So we're all in the base of our brains. Oh my God, I've got to go pick up my daughter. Oh my God, I've got to go get my test. Oh my God, do I have to see Mucinex in the house? Oh my God, what am I do? I got to go Lysol the doorknobs again. Right? It puts us in reactive mode in the back of our heads. That's exhausting. That is the definition of how trauma gets built over time, constantly using fight or flight, the back of our brains. Creation is here. It calms that down. I don't care if it's coloring. I really don't. So those are my 5.
Okay. So we're going to go run through them again really quick.
Creativity.
Connection.
For me, it's something spiritual, right? So that is whatever that is. That's meditation, whatever. Movement. And I would say learning and laughter together.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that you are putting your hand up right now, counting those 5.
That was the 5.
6-ish. Yeah, there we go. Make sure,
creativity to me was always like the palm.
Here, the palm of the hand.
Laughter was always in here. Like I know when I lose, that's my base.
Yeah.
Right. But I think we got to teach our kids that. I think it brings their anxiety down. Like I always say, I like to work with younger people because I like to work in clay versus these old farts who are in cement. Sorry, clients. Sorry, overpaying me clients. I just called you that. Yeah, they're cement. Right?
So have you always
was 20?
Have you always been this funny?
No.
Really?
No. In fact, somebody asked me about that about a month ago. They're like, you weren't funny in college. I'm like, no, because I was dating morons. Right? I was dating people who are like, oh, pick me. You're not like happy and funny when you're doing the pick me game. That's creativity, right? Funny is creativity. And so now I'm really selective. If I'm funny when I'm dating someone, that's got an interesting piece. If he's funny when he's dating me, not funny, bye-bye.
So then, okay, wait, are you, can I ask you this? You don't have to answer. I'm going to ask you anyways. Are you dating anyone or are you on the market here?
I'm on the market, but like, my God, right?
I know. Well, okay,
yeah, like, what am I going to say? Can I see your PCR? You can see my PCR. I don't understand how people are doing it. It's hard enough when you're 50. Let me be clear. And this, and that this mouth of mine and this, I'll give my brain its due, but this is an acquired taste. Okay.
It's a damn good one.
Yeah. So okay. I love
someone
you
listening.
For it.
Tell us what is, I want to know, paint the picture. I'm just curious, just because how cool would this be if all of a sudden,
oh my
somehow,
God, JP,
some way, the energy gets transpired and all of a sudden we get a call and someone's like, hey, I got
want her
someone
number.
for Jeannie. Yeah.
Right.
So can you just put it out there? Like what is this partnership look like?
I believe this, you and I've talked about this, that I believe every kite has a string.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I'm a kite. Now that doesn't mean the person I'm going to be with is like it's not an anchor. Every kite has a string.
Right.
I need someone that's okay that I have the access that I have in the world, because, you know, some of my clients are people that are in the news and people know. I can't tell them about it. Right. That's kind of creepy. How's your day? Fine. Right. I want someone kind. I need someone who's of service, that matters to them. And that someone that deeply believes that being of service is a better way to leave our planet. I also want them to have, I want them to have been married. I want them to have kids. Kids are a huge part of what I believe in the world. Most single women are like, oh no, he has kids. I'm like, bring them on.
Okay.
Yeah, bring them on. I want that. I want the person to have suffered for something.
Yeah.
You have to show me that you can go around the bend and that you can put your own Humpty Dumpty back together again. Because I've had some Humpty Dumptys that should have been omelets. Okay. Should have just made an omelet and let that go, but nope. You know, so that's what I'm looking for. Someone who's solid.
Got it. Yeah.
Got to know who you are.
All right. So I hope y'all are listening to that. And for those that are listening right now and realizing
on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, I was going to say geographical location. Okay. On the East Coast would be ideal.
Doesn't have to be.
Okay. There we go. So we need someone that has their stuff together. Children are welcome. Good
Can't be a
human
picky
being.
eater. Can't be a picky eater.
Can't be a picky eater.
My clients are chefs.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, because okay, so I am putting this energy out there because Jeannie, I love you so much, like a sister.
You're making
that I'm
me,
like,
I'm bright red. I did not expect to get hot seated.
Well,
wow.
Good. Well, I'm happy to be your hot seater to find your suitor, because you know what? Let's be also real. For anyone that's listening right now, she is right. Dating, let alone, dating as an adult, dating as an adult, dating online, dating in the pandemic. It's
dating
kind of just ridiculous.
That has masculine and feminine energy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Then being someone that's intimidating to men, right?
Let's put it out there. Dating when you have your own money, right? I don't need yours. I don't need it. It'd be fine. We can share it, but I don't need yours, right?
Yeah.
So all of these things come into it.
I just have this really awesome gut feeling that somehow through this interview, all of a sudden it's going to become this whole dating Jeannie segue. So I'm really into this. So please, for those of you, because we're wrapping this up right this minute, because I have another interview right after, but Jeannie Esti is one of the coolest human beings that I have ever met. And I literally would feel so flipping honored to be able to bring you some incredible potential suitors that have their stuff together.
This coming.
So I'm throwing this out there, and I have a feeling that we're going to get some feedback on this. So Jeannie,
well, at least you have brought me out to be 100% myself. You certainly know there's no version of this. This is what I'm sleeping with. This is what it looks like. This is what it goes to sleep like.
Oh, this makes me so happy. Okay, so Jeannie, I love you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for all that you do for the world, for your legacy that you are living right now. That's the other thing is it's not just about after the fact. You're doing it right now. So I love you.
I love you too. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
We'll talk to you soon with some dates.
Thank you.
I'll let you know when the dates.
Find me at JeannieEsti.com.
Okay, I love you.
Bye, sweetheart.
Thank you for joining me here at What's the Word. Follow us on social media with the links on the screen, and don't forget to like and share with your friend. Your support helps us grow and continue to make inspirational content. See you next time on What's the Word.